Just one more round of applause for that selection. And let's start, as we always do, with the reading of the law. Let's go to Exodus 20 and 1 through 17. Exodus 20, 1 through 17. Go ahead, brother, when you're ready.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
Okay, Ecclesiastes 12, 13, and 14. Ecclesiastes 12, 13, and 14. Go ahead, brother.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
Revelations 22, 14, and 15. Revelation 22, 14, and 15. And go ahead, brother.
Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gate into the city. For without are dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
And brothers and sisters, we always open with the reading of the law to remind ourselves that they are good. Yes. We have to keep the laws. Actually, those laws, they are the key to our salvation. And I like to say good afternoon, brothers and sisters.
Good afternoon, big brother.
And welcome to the Israel God Bible Study class, Sabbath day class. I'm the teacher for today, Bro.McKinley, for those who don't know me. And as always, it's an honor to stand before you on the Lord's Sabbath day so we can edify each other in his holy word. Because this isn't about us. This is about the Lord and honoring him. And brothers and sisters, with everything that's going on in the world today, we have to be spiritually aware. I mean, we have to know these spirits out there that we're dealing with. Because there are holy spirits and there are unholy spirits. There are clean spirits and there are unclean spirits. And we have to make sure and be on our game so we would know who we are dealing with. Because Satan and his minions are out there, and they got one mission: to destroy. They destroyed this world once, and they want to do it again. That's their mission. They know they have a short time, and they want to bring as many people down with them as they can. That's their mission, brothers and sisters. So today we're going to look at this thing. We're going to start this in Mark the fifth chapter. Because Satan and his minions, they're tricky. That's why he say the wiles of the devil. He's smart. Satan been at this a long time. He's good at it. And he's tricking. He's trying to bring you down with him, or us down with him. Let's start this in Mark, the 5th chapter. We're going to pick this up at verse 1 and see what happened here. We're going to walk this thing down and see how these unclean spirits, how they take over a person, and what is our weapon or defense against these spirits. We can't do it alone. We're not strong enough. We are not strong enough. But go ahead, brother. Mark 5:1.
And they came over into the other side of the sea, into the country of the Gadarenes. And when he was come out of the ship, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit.
And this is talking about Jesus. As soon as Jesus came out of the ship, this unclean spirit ran out to meet Jesus. Now, why would this unclean spirit come out to meet Jesus? And because he recognized him right away. He recognized who Jesus was. But go ahead, brother.
Who had his dwelling among the tombs, and no man could bind him. No, not with chains, because that he had been often bound with fetters and chains, and the chains had been plucked asunder by him, and the fetters broken in pieces, neither could any man tame him.
So this guy had this unclean spirit in him. It was on him so tough, a chain couldn't hold him. Chains and shackles, when they try to hold him, they try to bind him, he would break the chain. And no man could tame him, and no man can control him. But go ahead.
5, and always, night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying and cutting himself with stones.
And he was in the mountain, in the tombs, just crying and cutting himself. He was torturing himself because these unclean spirits was on him. And that's what they do. They ride you to the ground. But go ahead, brother.
But when he saw Jesus afar off, he ran and worshiped him.
Oh, but when this unclean spirit saw Jesus, he wasn't crazy then, was he?
Right.
He ran and worshiped Jesus. And what did he say? Go ahead.
And cried with a loud voice and said, what have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of the Most High God?
So this unclean spirit, he recognized, he knew who Jesus was. He confessed with his mouth.
Yes, sir.
That Jesus was the Son of the Most High God. So will he be saved? Well, people say, all you got to do is confess with your mouth. This unclean spirit did. But go ahead.
I adjure thee by God that thou torment me not.
So he said, I beg you, don't torment me not. Because they know that when their time is. And he knew Jesus had the power to deal with him. So he said, I adjure you by God, torment me not. Go ahead.
8, for he said unto him, come out of the man, thou unclean spirit.
So Jesus said, come out of that man, you unclean spirit. So people think that since Jesus said, come out of this man, this spirit was inside this man and took over this man's body. But think about it, brothers and sisters. If these evil spirits could do that, they could literally get inside your body and take over and just take complete control of you. What chance do you have?
No chance. None.
You laying on the couch, this spirit take over your body. It doesn't work like that. We're going to show you how they do it. But go ahead, brother.
9, and he asked him, what is thy name?
So Jesus said, what is your name?
And he answered, saying, my name is Legion, for we are many.
So he said, my name is Legion, we are many. This guy had a lot of demons in him. That's why you got to be careful, brothers and sisters. When you're doing something, you might have one little vice. And them demons say, that spirit got him. I might well go in there too. Now you got 2 problems. But this man had a legion. And they could do that because remember, brothers and sisters, when Satan got kicked out of heaven, he took a third part of the angels with him.
Yeah.
And a third part of a number that can't be counted. Yeah. So there's a lot of these evil spirits out there. They say, my name is Legion, for we are many. But go ahead.
10, and he besought him much that he would not send them away out of the country.
So those demons begged Jesus, don't send us out of the country. We want to stay here. This is prime picking. Just like Memphis and Chicago, all you hear on the news. Them demons having a feast.
Yeah.
No, don't send us out. We love it here. We got plenty to work with. Now they begged, don't send us out of the country. But what did he do? Go ahead.
There was there nigh unto the mountains a great herd of swine feeding.
Go ahead.
And all the devils besought him, saying, send us into the swine, that we may enter into them.
So the devil told God, don't send us out of the country. Send us into these swines They even had, these unclean spirits had to ask permission even to get into the animals. Because Satan and his minions, they work for the Lord. They're not free agents. Think about it, if they were free agents and they could just get into whoever or whatever they want, they'll get into the dogs or the bears. They'll just take over.
Just mess up everything.
But they don't have that power. So they even have permission to actually get into these swines. But go ahead.
13. And forthwith Jesus gave them leave. And the unclean spirits went out and entered into the swine.
So Jesus gave them leave. Jesus gave them permission. So they went out and they entered into the swine. And go ahead.
And the herd ran violently down a steep place into the sea. They were about 2,000 and were choked in the sea.
So these swines, these pigs, they got more sense than we do. They don't want to be bothered with these demons. They ran into the river, to the sea and drowned themselves.
Wow, man.
But they didn't get inside these swines physically. But they did them just like they do us. They messing with it. They probably say, you're not a pig, you're a chicken. They're going to fry you. Get out of my head. Get out of my head.
Chicken.
And think about it. And they ran, they choked themselves. But the demons, these unclean spirits, they didn't drown. They can't die. When these swines ran into the sea, they just went on by their business. So think about it. When Satan and these angels kicked out of heaven, they fell from heaven onto the ground, got up, dust themselves off, and went on by their business. So you think they're going to drown by running into a little water? No, but these swines, they didn't want to be bothered. They went and committed suicide. So they got more sense than we got. We just let them demons just take over us. But go ahead.
14. And they that fed the swine fled and told it in the city and in the country. And they went out to see what it was that was done.
And those that were feeding the swine, they saw what happened. They ran. They saw these swines going all insane and running to the sea. And they ran, and they went and told everybody, but go ahead.
And they come to Jesus and see him that was possessed with the devil, and had the legion sitting and clothed, and in his right hand. And they were afraid.
And in his right what?
In his right mind.
In his right mind.
And they were afraid.
That's what they was affecting. They was affecting his mind. They was in his head, influencing him. They was influencing him, and that's why he was like that. But let's go see how Satan possesses you. If he enter into your body or he take over you some other kind of way. Let's go to John 13. John 13, we're going to pick it up at 25. Go over to John 13 and 25. People think us, they see on TV how these demons and stuff get inside you. Well, he ain't going to get inside me. I just keep my mouth closed. Yeah, but you haven't changed your behavior.
Right.
So you still prime picking for them. John 13 and 25. Go ahead, brother.
He then, lying on Jesus' breast, saith unto him, Lord, who is it? Jesus answered, He it is to whom I shall give a sop when I have dipped it.
And this is Peter. He's asking Jesus. Jesus told him what's going to happen, and one of them was going to betray him. So Jesus was telling Peter who it's going to be. So he said, when I give him a piece of this bread after I dip it, he's the one. But go ahead.
And when he had dipped the sop, he gave it to Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon.
And he gave it to Judas, and what happened?
And after the sop, Satan entered into him. Then said Jesus unto him, that thou doest do quickly.
So Jesus already knew what happened. Satan, he knew Satan had already entered into Judas. But how did he enter into him? Let's back up to 1, verse 1. Back up to 13 and 1. Let's see how Satan entered into Judas.
Now before the feast of the Passover, when Jesus knew that his hour was come, that he should depart out of this world unto the Father, having loved his own, which were in the world, he loved them unto the end.
And he loved them unto the end because he died for the world. He died for our sin. He was sin free. But go ahead.
And supper being ended, the devil having now put into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him.
Oh, so that's how Satan entered into him. He put into his heart, and not this blood pump, his mind.
That's right, brother.
He put into his mind, yeah, man, go ahead. You know that 30 pieces of silver, you know what you could do with that? All you got to do is turn them in. But Satan is crafty. He could do that. And that's the problem with the world. The world is wicked now, brothers and sisters. And that's the problem with the world today. People put more value on things than they do life. Anytime somebody will rob somebody, kill somebody for a pair of shoes, you put more value on a pair of shoes than this person's life? Or kill somebody for their car? Well, you're going to get caught. You can't drive it because as soon as they see you in it, police get you. So,
Right.
but that's just how wicked this world. But Satan and his minions, that's how he influenced them. He actually convinced people what they're doing is a good idea. Man, that's a good idea. Ain't nobody never carjacked a car before and got away with it. My plan gonna work. Say, you Satan, yeah, you got this, man. You got this. You could beat that. You could beat the system. You could beat. I got in trouble one time. Let me tell you, brothers and sisters, I fought the police and I lost.
Right. Right.
Don't work like that. But Satan will convince you you could do it. But that's their job. That's their job. You're going to be the first one to get away with this. You're going to be a legend.
Right.
But let's go to Ephesians, the 6th chapter. Let's go to Ephesians 6. And see how we can fight these demons, what we have to do. But brothers and sisters, that old saying, Satan made me do it, he made you do it because you let him make you do it.
Facts.
He just gave you that little push you need. You know, you already had it on your mind. He just pushed you a little bit, say, you can go ahead. But Ephesians 6, and pick it up at 10. Go ahead, brother.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might.
Be strong in the Lord and the power of his might, because the Lord the one that got the power and the
sir.
strength.
Yes.
And we got to tap into that. But go ahead.
Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
And the whole armor of God. Now you just can't put on some of it.
Right.
You got to put on the whole armor of God. You may be able to stand the tricks of the devil, because this guy is crafty. This guy convinced a third part of the angels to rebel against the Lord. These angels, they was in the presence of the Lord. They knew the Lord. And Satan convinced them to rebel against the Lord. What chance do we have against this guy by ourselves?
No chance.
I mean, they saw the power and the might of the Lord firsthand. And Satan convinced them, yo, we could do it. We bigger than Jesus. We ain't scared of no Jesus. We could do it. We could take over this thing. They, yeah, Satan, you right. Let's do this, man. Let's do this. And got stomped.
Right.
But he convinced them. So Satan has some tricks. But go ahead, brother.
12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
So we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but spiritual wickedness in high places, spiritual wickedness way above what we can handle.
That's right, brother.
Not flesh and blood. Yeah. So no matter how big your pistol is, it's not going to do you any good. There might be a flesh and blood person standing in front of you, but that spirit that's influencing him, you might shoot that person, that spirit just going to go to the next one. And people like, man, I don't know. Everywhere I go, the same stuff happens. Same stuff happens. That spirit following you. Everywhere you go, he right behind. Yeah, you prime picking. You not changing your behavior? Yeah. You're going to slip up.
That's it, bro.
I'll be right there waiting on you. Just like they did Saul. I'll be there waiting on you. But go ahead, brother.
13. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day.
And that evil day is that last day when this thing really go down. You won't be able to stand. You won't be able to stand and done all you can to be able to stand. Go ahead.
Yes, sir, and having done all to stand.
And all to stand means preparing yourself, read, study, know what's going on. Go ahead.
Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness.
Your loins with truth and the breastplate of righteousness. Go ahead.
And your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace.
And your feet shod with the preparation. And how do you prepare? By studying.
Yes.
By reading. When
Yes.
you was in school, you prepared for a test, you study. You cram out, you up all night.
Yeah. Teach, brother. Yes.
All night studying, getting ready, preparing. That's how you prepare. You study. That's why we always say, read this book.
Yes.
Read the book. See what thus saith the Lord. Go ahead, brother.
Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked.
And the shield of faith. So you can stop those fiery dots
Yeah.
from the wicked. Because they storm at you. But that shield comes up.
Yes, sir.
That shield of faith come up. And it's just not, it's false doctrine. They throw that false doctrine at you. My daughter was telling me the other day, this lady was on YouTube. And see, people use the word of God as a cloak of maliciousness. She said, well, you know, the Lord didn't say if you don't do what I say, you going to hell. He said, do what I say so you don't go to hell. Somebody came right behind her. So if I don't say, give me your money, I'm going to shoot you. But if I say, if you don't give me your money, no, give me your money so I don't shoot you, is there a difference?
Tomato.
So give me your money, I'll shoot you. Or if you don't give me your money, I'll shoot you.
Same
But they
word.
try to twist it up.
Right. Same word.
What's the end result? You shot if you don't give up the money.
Right. Make it plain.
No matter how you say it.
Still gonna get shot.
So you just hold on to your money, get shot, and lose it. Well, go ahead, brother. Where are we?
17.
17.
And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God.
The helmet of salvation. What he calls a helmet of salvation, because we got to keep our mind on what it is we're fighting for, our salvation.
Teach, brother.
Keep it on your mind. Everywhere you go, always in your mind. The Lord say, thus saith the Lord, don't say the Lord. Thou shalt not, thou shalt not. You got a problem with something. If you know you got little sticky hands, you got a little problem with taking stuff that's not yours. You walking by a table, you see something on the table. Lord say, thou shalt not steal. Go the other way. Go the other way. You got trouble with adultery. All these beautiful sisters in here, you know, they always like to hug you. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Go the other way. And when you're strong enough, then you go and hug the sister.
Right. Look down.
But you know you still got a problem with it. Soon as lesson over, run out that back door. We're not going to chase you.
Right.
The musher's not going to run you down and say, oh, that brother fighting them demons best way he can. But where are we, brother?
18.
And the sword of the Spirit.
Yes,
The sword of the Spirit is the word of God. We're not fighting against flesh and blood, but spirit. So you need a spiritual weapon
Yeah,
to battle them.
that's right.
That's why you call it the sword of the Spirit, that word. Go ahead, brother.
Praying always with all prayer and supplication
Praying-
in the Spirit.
Praying always,
Yes.
always with prayer and supplication. Go ahead.
In the Spirit. And watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
With all presence, we're watching, being alert. with all supplication for the saints. Beg, Lord, please, give me the strength to make it another day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let me get through this thing. Because people, they're coming out, they're coming at you all the time, trying to get you off your game. So we got to be on it. But go ahead, brother.
19. And for me, that utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel.
Yeah, open my mouth, give me utterance. I speak your word, Lord, not my own.
Teach, brother.
That's what we have to do. When we teach, we got to speak the Lord's word, not our own. What Brother McKinley think of my opinion, can't even get you a cup of coffee at McDonald's. Don't even try to go to Starbucks. So it's what the Lord said. That's what's important. I don't have a kingdom to put you in, nor do I have a lake of fire to put you in. So we have to speak utterance, speak the Lord's word. Lord's word. But let's go further, brothers and sisters. Let's go to Revelation 12th chapter. But this is a war, and let's see when this war started. This is a war we're fighting. And the thing about wars, you're going to have a lot of battles. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. As long as you still fight, you're still in that war. And you still got a chance. Revelation 12, we're going to pick it up at 7. Revelations 12 and 7. Revelations 12, we're going to pick it up at 7. So this is a war. And let's see when this thing started with these unclean spirits. Go ahead, brother.
And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven.
And there was a spiritual war. Yeah. There was a war against spiritual beings. Satan and his angels, or his demons, they fought against Michael and his angel, the holy angel against the unholy angel. But Satan and his minions prevailed not, and there was no more place found in them in heaven. And Satan been trying to get back ever since. He always wanted to take Jesus' place. Go ahead.
And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world.
He said, deceiveth the whole world. And this is where you can go and find all Satan's name. But he deceiveth the whole world, because that's what he's been doing from the beginning. That's what he's still trying to do. And he has deceived the whole world. The whole world is out of course.
That's right.
But go ahead.
He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
So he was cast out of heaven into the earth. Though they fell from heaven, when they say, the Gentiles, the white man, that's the devil. So you mean tell me that white man was cast out of heaven, hit the ground, got up, dusted himself out, went and made him a sandwich?
Made a sandwich.
It don't work like that.
Right.
These are some spirit beings. But go ahead, brother.
10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night.
So the accuser of our brothers, Satan, that's one of his titles too. He's an accuser. So be careful when you start accusing people, pointing your fingers. You're trying to do Satan's job.
Teach, brother.
So you got to be careful, brothers and sisters. This thing is serious.
Yes.
This thing is very serious. And if you're doing Satan's job, that means you're working for him. You're one of his disciples. But go ahead.
11. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb.
Oh, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb. And how you get under that blood? Through that baptism. Then through your obedience. You remain under there through your obedience. By doing what thus saith the Lord. But that's the only way they overcame him, by the blood of the Lamb. Not by their own strength. But go ahead.
And by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto the death.
And you got to be able to give this thing your all. Give it your all. Go ahead.
Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he has but a short time.
They say it's a woe unto the inhabitants of the earth. Lord's warning us. Woe, y'all, because the devil come, he's cast into this earth, and he know he has a short time. Satan know his outcome. He know his end game. He done read the last chapter of his book. He know what's going to happen. So he's trying to take as many people with him as he can. You know, they say misery loves company. Mm-hmm. He wants as many people in that lake of fire with them as they can, because they want to make sure they have a whole lot of people to get some spades and beers with teams going. and people foolishness talking about, oh, the devil, I spit in the devil's eye. If Satan was to walk in here right now, everybody run out there. They wouldn't even run out the door. They'll run through that wall.
Right. Like them swine.
And I step on Satan's head. You know, the Holy Church, that's what they do. They talk, hey, what you doing? I'm stepping on Satan's head. I said, I can do it too.
Right.
You can't do that. That's a sin. You dancing. That's what they doing. I saw that at the club last night. Mm-hmm. The same dance move.
Right. Not far from it.
How they going to stomp on Satan? This guy fell from heaven to the earth. And you're going to stomp on his head? Foolishness. Foolishness. Why are we, brother? We finished at 12?
Yes, sir.
Because he took a third part of the angels with him. Let's go to Hebrews, the 12th chapter. Hebrews 12 and 21. Back up to Hebrews 12 and 21. And see how many that is. He took a third part of the angels with him when he got kicked out of heaven. 12 and 21. Go ahead, brother.
And so terrible was the sight that Moses said, I exceedingly fear and quake. But ye are come unto Mount Zion, unto the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem, and to an innumerable company of the angels.
See, an innumerable company, that's a number that can't be counted. So that's just how many angels it is. So if Satan took a third part of them, that's just how many, that's a number that cannot be counted. So that's how many of these unclean spirits that we're battling against. That's why I say we're not fighting against flesh and blood. And we can't use conventional weapons. We have to use a spiritual weapon. That sword of the Spirit. The Word of God. That's what we have to use. That's a lot of enemies to have to fight against. And enemies that are more powerful than we are. But let's go to Ezekiel 28. Let's see why Satan was kicked out of heaven. Because Satan was Lucifer. He was the light bringer. Ezekiel 28, because he was the one that would bring the message, the word of God. That was his job. Before he got fired, Ezekiel 28. But he got fired from his job, and he got mad, and like I say, he went postal. Now he wanted to destroy the world.
Right.
No, he acting like some of people acting like some of us. Act up, get punished for it and get fired, and then you mad at the company. Now he mad at heaven. Because he messed up and got fired. Man, that job did me wrong. They fired me. For what? I didn't do nothing. I was just stealing T-shirts. They caught you, yeah, but no, I was just trying to get my hustle done on the side. But they did you wrong? That's worse than getting fired on your day off for stealing boxes.
tired on your day off.
Ezekiel 28 and 12. Go ahead, brother.
Son of man, take up a lamentation upon the king of Tyrus, and say unto him, Thus saith the Lord God, Thou sealest up the sum, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty.
Okay, we know no man is full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. No fleshly being anyway. So we know he had to be talking to somebody greater, more than that. Go ahead.
Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was thy covering, the sardius, topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle, and gold. The workmanship of the tabrets and of the pipes was prepared in thee in the day that thou was created.
That's right, he was created. We know there was only, in the Garden of Eden, there was only Adam, Eve, Jesus, and Satan. The tree of the God of knowledge of good and evil, and the tree of life. So we know nobody else was in the Garden of Eden. Oh, this is talking about Satan, and he was beautiful.
Yeah.
Because the Lord, when he came to deliver that message from the Lord wanted you to be in awe. He wanted you to see this thing and say, wow, look at that. That must be an angel from the Lord.
That's right.
So the Lord made him. The Lord created him. That's why the Lord controls these angels. He created them. He created these angels. But go ahead, brother.
14. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth.
So now we know he's a cherub, and a cherub is an angel. Go ahead.
And I have set thee so. Thou was upon the holy mountain of God. Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire.
So he was in the holy mountain of God. He was before the Lord. Satan was before God. He was standing before God. Go ahead.
Thou was perfect in thy ways from the day that thou was created.
He was perfect in his ways. The Lord made him, created him, perfect in his ways. So when he showed up, there was no flaw in him. Until what? Go ahead.
Till iniquity was found in thee.
Oh, until sin was found in him.
That's right.
Go ahead.
By the multitude of thy merchandise, they have filled the midst of thee with violence, and thou hast sinned.
He said, by the multitude of thy merchandise, by your beauty, you have puffed up your head. Now you think you more than God. You done look and say, oh, I'm beautiful. I'm more beautiful than God. I should be in charge. So people do that all the time, get puffed up. But they get a little knowledge, they get puffed up. I've had brother, man, man, I've been reading, I've been coming to class for 3 months, man. I read 10 scriptures last night. I can go teach boys something. I'm strapped now, I'm ready. Deceiving yourself. That's the same thing Satan did. He got puffed up. By the multitude of his merchandise, he got puffed up. Go ahead.
Mid-16. Therefore I will cast thee as profane out of the mountain of God, and I will destroy thee, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire.
And the Lord already kicked them out of heaven, and he's going to destroy him. That's what the lake of fire was made for, Satan and his minions.
That's right.
Wasn't made for us. But you know this flesh, when they read Satan, the lake of fire was made for Satan. I want to see what's in it too. What I got to do to get in there?
No.
Everything somebody else wants.
Man.
But go ahead.
17. Thine heart was lifted up because of thy beauty.
His mind, he was lifted up because of his beauty. His mind, in his mind, he to convince himself. And I'm beautiful, man. Look at me, man. Look at me. I'm beautiful. I should be running this thing. I bet every time he walked by a mirror.
Thumbs up.
It's me. Look at me. And his heart was lifted up. Go ahead.
Thou hast corrupted thy wisdom by reason of thy brightness.
He corrupted his wisdom. The wisdom that God had given him, he corrupted it by his beauty. Instead of doing what thus saith the Lord, he started leaning on his own understanding. Go ahead.
I will cast thee to the ground. I will lay thee before kings that they may behold thee.
He said, I will lay thee before kings so they may behold thee. But that's why Satan was kicked out of heaven. Because of his pride. That pride is a dangerous thing.
Yes, it is.
It's a dangerous thing. That's why he was kicked out. But let's go to Isaiah 47. Back up to Isaiah 47. But this pride is dangerous. People get puffed up. And all they start thinking about me. This is Gentile. Let's see what they did. Isaiah 47, pick it up at 9. 47 and 9. Go ahead, brother.
But these two things shall come to thee in a moment in one day.
You'll tell Babylon, this is going to happen to you in a moment. Go ahead.
The loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries.
They come here on your perfection when you complete all this stuff in the multitude of your sorceries. Go ahead.
And for the great abundance of thine enchantment.
All this wickedness and evilness you've done, all this false worshiping. Go ahead.
For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness.
Because you trusted in your wickedness. You trusted in your own self. You trusted in the things you was doing. You got prideful. I'm doing this. Ain't nobody help me do this. I'm doing this all on my own. Go ahead.
Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it has perverted thee.
Their wisdom and their knowledge have perverted thee. They thought they were so wise. You know, the Greeks, the philosophers, they always thought they were so wise and smart. You know, go ahead.
And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me.
So they think they got I am. Ain't that what the Lord said?
That's what the Lord said.
I am, and there's none beside me. But the Lord, he added something after that can deliver. You see, at least they had something not to make that false statement. But it was still bad enough. That's right. But that was the fault of the Gentiles, their pride. Because their knowledge and their wisdom, they got a little wisdom and understanding. They thought, hey, I could do this on my own. Ain't nobody beside us. We did this. I did this. But let's go to Isaiah 14 and 12. Oh, go ahead. Do that 11. Do that 11. I'm sorry.
Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know.
The Lord said, evil will come upon you, and there's nothing you can do. Violence, you won't be able to put it off. So when the Lord is your enemy, you do not stand a chance.
That's right.
Nobody can deliver you. Nobody can save you out of his hand. That's why Satan and his minions, they are afraid of him. But Isaiah 14, let's go to 12. See what Satan tried to do in heaven. Isaiah 14 and 12. Isaiah 14, we'll pick it up at 12. 14 and 12. But these evil spirits out there, brothers and sisters, they are working. Just like these holy, clean spirits. They out there, they try and do their job too. They are doing their job. But these fallen angels, these unclean spirits, they're trying to destroy and bring the world down again. They did it once and they're trying to do it again. But Isaiah 14 and 12, go ahead.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning?
And we saw how he had fallen. Pride had got in him. He thought he was so beautiful that he should be in charge. Go ahead.
How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation?
And he did with his craftiness. He weakened the nations, turned them to sin. Go ahead.
For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
I will ascend into heaven. The Lord said he's going to descend. Say, well, I won't be like, since I can't descend, I was kicked out, I was thrown out, but I can ascend. I could be like God, but I'm going to set my throne above God. I'm going to be higher than God. Go ahead.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
And Satan is trying to take Jesus' place. He was trying to take Jesus' place. He wanted to be in charge. He said, I will sit in the mount of the congregation. Go ahead.
14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
Oh, he said, I will be like the Most High. I will be like the Most High. And anybody that's saying they want to go to heaven, they want to be like Satan. The Lord never said he wanted to go to heaven. He said he wanted to come to earth. He said he built this earth to be inhabited.
That's right, bro.
He created it to be inhabited. He said, I will be like the Most High. That's what Satan said, but go ahead.
15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit.
And thou shalt be brought down to hell. And hell is a state of condition. And Lord cast him into hell until that appointed time when they're going to cast him into the lake of fire.